thank you so much for joining me. This has been quite a while since we've done one of these How I Shot It's, and I am super excited because four incredible photographers from all over the world. Instead of me going around introducing of each of you, can I hand the mic to you and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Amber Henry. You might already know me from the MagMod community because I've been a big component of MagMod since day one. I am a wedding and portrait photographer based out of Michigan, USA. It is 3:40 p.m. here. So I got blessed with the best time of the day for this live. Yeah, it's fabulous. We have so much that we're going to show you today. We have pictures, we have behind the scenes, we're going to talk about a workshop. So amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. Amber, people definitely know you because you're all over Instagram as well. And I think some of your reels have just absolutely blown up. Likewise, pass the mic over to Arnold. Arnold, tell us about yourself. I know you're all over Instagram as well, but tell everyone who you are.
Hi, I'm Arno from the Netherlands. I'm a wedding and portrait photographer. Yeah, and as you know, I love MagMod. Many people know me from the MagMod community, and yeah, it's an honor to be here on this special How We Shot video stream. And yeah, we have a lot of creative stuff to share, and of course, everything about our Fabulous Four workshop in Vegas.
Yeah, you know, you're already dropping hints. I can't wait to tell everyone about it. But before we get there, let's hand it over to Ben. Ben, tell everyone where you're coming from.
Hey guys, my name is Ben Connolly. I'm a wedding photographer from Australia. I'm sure that probably no one knows me because I haven't really been in the MagMod scene or anything for as long as it's been going. So I'm really happy to be here. Really happy to be sharing this with the other guys. I mainly shoot weddings. I do sort of 50 to 60 weddings a year. I work out of a little studio here on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, living about one street away from the beach. So living in a really cool part of the world. The only problem is that there's a lot of creativity needed in what I do because we don't have the amazing architecture and all that sort of stuff that you see in some of the big cities. So super excited to be here with all of these guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ben. I really appreciate you being here. And they might not know you yet in the MagMod community, but I am certainly glad you're here so they can get to know you because you do incredible work. So thanks so much for being part of this. And then last, but certainly not least, Chris, you're also all over Instagram as well with some of your incredible photos and you just the way you use color. And I can't wait to show some of the stuff that you talk about today as well. But tell everyone who you are and where you're based out of.
So I'm Chris. I'm Chris Benavides. I'm from CH Photography. I'm actually here from Las Vegas locally. So if you guys ever come to Vegas, Viva Las Vegas. One of the things is I shoot a lot of weddings and also I do portrait work and a little bit of commercial work as well. And glad to be here. Glad I know that I posted in MagMod community for a while, then I get in and on, but we'll be back on.
I love it. I love it. Chris, we appreciate you, man. I love that you guys are all very busy working photographers. In fact, Arnold didn't even mention he also is a writer, wrote a book called Be Creative. Is that right? So, so appreciate all of you guys being here. I know a few of you dropped a hint, and let's just jump right into it if it's cool with you guys. Amber, can you tell everyone a little bit about this? Let me pull it up here. You guys have a workshop coming up, the four of you. Tell everyone about this.
So, yes, we are really excited to have the most amazing workshop. We are scheduled for March 14th and 15th, which is right before WPPI. We did it that way because two of these men are coming from across the world, but that's the amazing part is that photographers from all over the world come to WPPI. So you can come 2 days early and spend the days with us. We are going to do hands-on shooting. We have models. We're going to do in-class sessions. So we're going to shoot indoors and on location. And Chris, who lives in Vegas, knows all the locations and everything. He's amazing. If you see his work, you'll see exactly where we're going to be, what we're going to be teaching you. We're also going to teach you post-production. So we're going to walk through how to take your images out of camera to the next level. It's completely immersive. It's a lot of hands-on one-on-one. So you get to learn from all four of us in one spot in Vegas right before WPPI to kick off everything. And it's going to be fantastic. And we are so excited about that.
And you guys, I know, also have a little discount. I'm going to throw up a slide here with a code. Tell everyone what you're going to be offering people watching this from MagMod.
So this little discount is huge. This is a huge discount
Big
or
discount.
MagMod. Because obviously we are MagMod photographers. We love MagMod products. We use it in all of our work. You see it, you see us in the community, always constantly bragging about the MagMod community. So yeah, if you are part of the MagMod community, you have the opportunity to save $500 off of the ticket price for the workshop. And like I said, that's for international photographers, 2 days hands-on. And if you're a MagMod community member, it's $500 off. We are limiting it to right around December 1st, so that we can kind of cap the ticket sales, because we only have so many spaces available. So we want to make sure that the people who really want to get in there quick and save spaces with us. Yeah, it's huge. It's really big.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. Going back to my time as learning as a photographer, I remember one workshop that was literally a game changer for me in learning Flash. And this goes way back for those old people out there. It was a David Honnell workshop. So David Honnell did like old modifiers with Velcro and things like that. But I went to one of his workshops and I learned just how to use Flash and how to get more creative with it. And it was game changing for me. Now, David Honnell, I'm sure he's long since retired. But it's these types of workshops that can literally just change somebody's outlook on business and like where they take their photography. And so having the four of you to coach and guide them, like that's huge. So thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate that. Yeah.
And we wanted to make this really affordable for people as well, because given the 2-day event that this is, there's going to be so much in this, and all four of us are going to be giving so much over those 2 days.
Yeah.
And we know that it's been a bit of a juggle over, especially in the US at the moment with everything going on. And we wanted to make it really appealing and really affordable for people to come along, because like you said, that one little workshop that you go to can be life-changing. And it's been like that for me as well. So yeah.
I think one more thing too, and then we'll jump into these images that I know we want to talk about. But I also think it's cool that you guys are doing it right before, because then people create these really cool friendships and relationships with each other, and then they take that throughout the next few days at WPPI, and they have people to hang out with and go on shoots with and go to classes with or whatever. If they want to do extra stuff there, like it seems like it makes so much sense to me. So
yeah, that's one of the best parts about it.
That's how this was actually born, Trevor.
Really?
Yeah, I met Arno at WPPI, and after WPPI was finished, we were sitting in, I think, the Golden Nugget having a steak about 4 days after WPPI, and we've gone, we should do something next year, and then it all just turned into this. So yeah.
I love the fact that two international boys are sitting at the Golden Nugget thinking that's the best steak in town. Chris, you got to help these guys.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was the best. It was average at best, but it was steak.
The company was the best.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, guys, I know we have a lot of great content that we're going to get to here. So basically, just to kind of set the stage for everybody, we're going to have each one of these photographers, they're going to talk about 2 or 3 of their images. We'll kind of skip around. But I picked out some stuff that I thought was incredible of your guys's. And then there's a few behind the scenes videos as well that we can see, so we can really kind of get an idea of exactly what's happening and see what it looked like for everybody else before you all did your magic and made some amazing things. So with that, can we jump into these photos? Is that cool?
Go.
Amber, you're up first. Tell us about this incredible shot.
Well, so I'm gonna tell you, I had the idea for this picture for years. I don't know why. I would be driving to a wedding or portrait, and I would see a big hill with a cool sky behind it, and I would just I just saw it. I saw it in my head for years. So finally I had a wedding party, and the time of day and the location and everything that just worked out to make this reality.
I love it. Well, let's show this behind the scenes, because I think the behind the scenes actually makes the image even more incredible, because you see like, oh, this is like your typical golf course that anyone could do and pull it off, but the vision that you had. So I'm going to play this little quick video. By the way, guys, go follow Amber on TikTok. That's insane. So Amber, I'm going to go back to this real quick here. So tell us what you used. How did you create this?
One light. So here's the thing, especially when you've got a big bridal party and you're somewhere it's like a golf course, you can't just take a bunch of equipment with you. You can't, you get like one golf cart and, your brain and your heart, and then you're off for like an hour with the bridal party. So you can see this as a large bridal party. I have one light. I have the MagMod MagBox on the stand, the cheetah stand,
Mhm.
and that's all I was allowed to take with me. And we did some natural light pictures with them too. So I did your traditional fun, walking shots and guys and girls. I cover all that too, but I want to create something that's the reason that the bride and groom came to me, because they see my traditional stuff. Everybody can kind of, if you're a photographer, you can kind of do the nice traditional stuff. But my clients come to me because they want something that's amazing, that's unique, that's brag worthy, that no one else has seen before. So that pressure of like, I need to create at least one really killer image with this bridal party with one light. How are we going to do that? So yeah, and this is something that we're going to be teaching too in the class, is how to use one light to create depth, to overpower the sun, to be really creative, that you don't need a ton of tools, but you need to know how to use your tools and then how to use your imagination.
I love that.
So
I One thing that stands out to me, Amber, is your second shooter. Do you typically? I think for a lot of people, it's kind of coaching them and telling them where to be. Do you typically use kind of the same person? Is it a photographer that knows kind of where to go, or do you have to kind of tell that second shooter exactly where to be each time?
So, this was my assistant. I always use an assistant who usually doesn't second shoot with me.
Ah,
Yeah, so I never do weddings alone. One, I'm a woman. I don't do weddings alone. Two, I don't want to carry my stuff all day. And then three, it is nice to have somebody with you, because if something happens
yeah.
or if there's an accident or whatever, you have that person that's with you. Yeah, so my lighting assistants, I do train them. They worked with me. That was Katrina, who is amazing. And I want to say 3 years now or so she's worked with me. But now she knows. So if I look at her, I'm like, boom light bride and groom. She goes up there, she does it perfectly. Yeah, but same thing if you are working with a second photographer, you definitely want to work your kinks out before the wedding day so that they know your gestures, they know like if you say, hey, split light, they know
Yeah.
right where to put that light versus you being like left, left, up, down. Yeah, so communication is definitely key when you're working with somebody else.
I love that you have an assistant that's a lighting assistant separate from your second shooter. That's so key, just to have that extra tool. And I think somebody might be watching this and saying, yeah, but I can't afford that. And that's the thing that you have to build into your packages, build into your
Yes.
pricing. It's an extra
You
two,
can't
three
afford
hundred
not
bucks.
to.
Yeah.
You can't afford not to. Again, not
Love that.
to say because you're a woman, but for me myself, I can't afford not to have an assistant. I rely on them so heavily. I'm very quick on my feet. I'm always running and moving. I'm always leaving gear behind.
Yeah.
They are worth their weight in gold. If you can't afford them, raise your package by whatever it is that you need to. You will book weddings and bring them with you, but then your weddings will get better. Your
Yeah.
work will get better. Then you can raise your prices higher. It all connects.
And Amber, one last thing, and then Chris will go over to one of your images here. But the thing about this shot too is you can't put a light stand on a hill like that. You have to have somebody holding it, right? And so that's so key to, again, that if you have these creative visions, it's like you can only pull them off if you can actually effectively make it happen. And if you had put that light further back, then you wouldn't have been able to get, the bridal party silhouetted like you did. So
No, yeah. Human light stands they're worth it. And
yeah.
there's so many new photographers who are starting out who really are hungry for it and they need guidance. And that's, I
Mm.
think, when you become an educator like we are, it's good to bring people in and train them and take them
Yeah.
on. The wedding industry needs more trained, competent photographers so that we can all rise up.
I love that. Thank you so much, Amber. Chris, tell us about this incredible shot. And when I saw this, Chris, I was like, what the heck? And then I saw the behind the scenes and I was like, what the heck? Hey, tell me about it.
So the bride came up to me and she wanted to have a photo with her future husband. Something like she didn't want to do a first look. She didn't want to see him, and she didn't want him to see her. Of course, keeping everything traditional,
Mm-hmm.
but wanted something out of the box. I said, well, let me look around. So I looked at the hallway and I said, I got it, I got it. I think I could come up with something here and it's going to be pretty. And then her favorite color was red. I'm like, perfect, even better. So I always ask couples what's their favorite color because that's something that I like to use during the day. And we went ahead and did it split, and I just told my assistant, to Amber's point, my assistant is the one that made all this happen. Thanks to him, literally running from one room to the other room, which made that happen. And it's two Godox 8200s with red gels of MagMod, one on each back, and then a softbox in the front to fill in the main light.
So, Chris, I'm going to put up your video here just to show people so they can kind of see. In fact, I'm going to actually just scroll through this real quick. So basically the bride is in the right room and he's in the left, right? And then you have the gels in there filling up the room. And then is your assistant, is it a composite? Are you lighting up him first and then running around to the other side and lighting up her? Or do you have?
Yeah. Look, go back. You'll see you'll see him run in on it's going back. Right there. He's running in. There he is.
Yeah.
He's running in there.
To light her up.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, Chris, one thing I noticed when you do a lot of these shots is you tend to have multiple gels. Do you have like multiple gel sets? Like, do you have like 2 of reds, 2 blues? Because it seems like you've been going to pair them in
I actually have 6 of each color. 6 teals, 6 reds, 6 blues.
Wow.
6 everything. And the reason I have 6 is because there's some shots that I'll use 6 lights, depending what I'm going to do. All my lights are already gelled, ready to go. So if I see something that's interesting, it just depends the parameter of how wide it is, how many lights I'm going to need to spread. Because what I want is, I know that if I get 80% of the shot on the camera, I can go back and edit it and make it look good. However, that's not what I want. A bride wants to see something right away. We're in the era of people wanting to see right behind the camera. Oh my God, blow them away. So when the room is a little bit too wide, I will have 2 and 2 Godox 8200. So it's 4 lights. But you see, a lot of people think that this takes a lot of time. It doesn't if you already have them pre-packed. So if you ask the right questions to your customer, you know the color red is, you have your lights already set up with gels. It's just a matter of your system putting them in where you want and getting that shot in and out. So it's actually a lot quicker. It's a lot easier than what it's shown there.
Yeah. No, that's amazing though. And I love the shot. It's really, really cool. Super cool shot.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. You guys, this is already such golden information. I love it. Arnold, I'm going to bring up a photo that you did next. Are you ready to take this?
Yes.
So check. This is one of those typical walls and curtains that you see everywhere. In fact, it looks like there's even a cocktail or something going on in the background. Tell us what you did here, Arnold.
Yeah, there was a 2-hour reception on a wedding a few weeks ago, and I was going to the toilet, and in the space next to the reception space, there was an empty space, and I saw those curtains, and I saw that small wall between those curtains, and I thought, hey, maybe I can lit those curtains from behind, from the reception side. And I can create a silhouette in front of that small wall. So I went back after I was going to the toilet to the bride and groom and asked him, have you 5 minutes? I can create a 5-minute shoot. Oh, yeah, that's cool, Arno. Yeah, let's be creative. All right. Okay, I will do a small setup and I will give you a call when I'm ready. So first I took some test shots. As you can see, I lit the wall with a ProPhoto A2 with an orange gel, and I used the MagSphere because you create that beautiful soft around this light on that wall. And when you use the color wheel, you have the opposite color. Blue and orange are a perfect match with each other. So what I did, I set up another flash behind that reception. Everybody was watching at me from, what the fuck is, oh, sorry. what the hell is Arno doing? And that guy, he's lit that wall wide. And I took the bride and groom with me. I posed them in front of the small wall, took the picture. I showed them the result on the camera, and that was a wow marketing moment for the rest of that reception. So yeah,
I bet it was. Arnold, just for clarity then, so I just thought the windows were like from white balance, but you're saying you actually put flashes outside that were shooting into those windows. Is that right?
Yeah, maybe you have, but there's another BTS image, and that is from the other side. And that was, I think, also a ProPhoto A2 with the MagGel blue on it, and yeah, super white and full powered. And with that, I lit the curtains blue. I always use MagMod gels for real colors. I never do something in post-production because I want to create that wow moment with my bride and groom, because that's the perfect marketing. When they are going for the dinner, they are talking not about their marriage or their wedding day, but they are talking about my images, and that's the perfect marketing for you as a photographer.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. If you can nail it in camera and turn around your camera and show it to them, and that, and hear them get excited about it, they're already talking about you before they've even received their gallery of photos later on. And so it's so important. I love that. Incredible image. I love the silhouette. I love how you did the complementary colors with the orange and blue. Really, really cool stuff. Good.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, Arno, you weren't sitting on the toilet taking that, were you?
No. What?
You weren't sitting on the toilet when you took that? Like you went to the toilet first and then came back?
No. The toilet is in the space behind that space, and I was walking from the toilet to the other space to the reception. I saw the empty space.
We just wanted to make sure that you weren't on the toilet taking a photo.
I never do that.
Such thing to say.
I'm pretty sure he said he was inspired while he was on the internet.
On the toilet. Yeah.
I was inspired on the toilet, but I always carry my camera to the toilet.
He said something about having 5 minutes there too.
Just hit the mute button, Arnold. Just hit the mute button, buddy.
MagMod community, you have been inspired, and you can feel free to be inspired on the toilet like Arno. So if that's the gift we can give everyone, amazing.
Since we're talking about toilets, here's my tip. I tell this to second shooters. I say, if you need to be on your phone for any purpose during the wedding, like if you want to get out your phone during the reception or whatever, don't do it near the dance floor. Don't do it where people can see you. Go to the toilet, go to a stall where nobody can see you, then get on your phone and check Facebook or message or whatever. And then that way, not only can you be inspired like Arnold was, but you don't get seen on your phone. So toilets are resourceful.
Toilets are amazing.
Just got to be careful not to drop it in.
Yeah, that's true.
Or take a picture while you're in there.
Yeah, you don't want to take pictures either. Well, thank you, Arnold. I will be inspired next time. I love it.
That was so inspirational.
I'm already inspired, Arno. This is why we do this,
Seriously, this is what we're like when we're together. This is why our workshop is going to be so much fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously, Well, we know what we're doing, but we have a good time.
I can already tell Arnold's segment of the workshop and the location where it's going to be is going to be incredible. Very inspiring.
I swear, if we don't do a toilet shot, then we've missed out on an opportunity.
We can do that. No problem.
I love it. All right, Ben, let's toss the mic over to you. You got an incredible image here as well. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and we can tell everyone about this one. Now, this one, I actually have the photo first, and then we followed up with a short video, but tell us about the shot.
So this shot was taken at a wedding a couple of months back. I was inspired by a fellow photographer of mine over in Greece, who I know quite well. And this is not something that's unique, and I kind of wanted to try this. And where we were in the reception venue, there was very little space. It wasn't an amazing reception venue at all, so it took a lot to hide a lot of junk and a lot of shit that was everywhere. And there kind of wasn't really much that I could work with. And there was one big mirror there in that reception venue that didn't have a lot of stuff reflecting back from it. Mm-hmm. So I directed my couple and I set them up in front of the mirror, and I I don't have an assistant or anything with me, so I had the light set up on a tripod. Oh, sorry, on a light stand, but it's just with a single ProPhoto A2 with a softbox on it, and basically I've just directed the couple. I've got them to stand nice and close to the mirror, and I've gotten down low and I've shot them through the gap that they created, and I've actually lit them from the front. So what you're seeing is me shooting through them and the reflection of them in the mirror. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
It's so clean. It's so crisp too. Actually, let's play that video. You get this excellent video.
So this was from the videographer. So she shot this for me and gave it to me afterwards. So
it was from the who? The videographer?
Yeah, the videographer. Yeah.
Nice. I love how this is exactly what we were just talking about, right? That wow factor when you show your clients those photos right afterwards, and you're literally like showing them. It looks like this is even another image where you kind of have this real controlled light right on them. So pretty, man. Love that. Good stuff. Good stuff.
So I'm kind of, I'd have to say I'm kind of the least colorful of all of these guys, and I'm kind of I'm trying to match them with my set here, I guess. But a lot of my stuff is one, maybe two lights. There's the odd photo, like the odd sort of thing that I put together that has quite a lot of flashes, like up to 6, like what Chris does. But I'm a huge advocate for directing my couples, and as you said, it's nice and crisp and clear. And one of the things that I pride me on is directing my couples so that they look as amazing as they possibly can in the photo, and using flash to amplify strengths and hide weaknesses and that sort of thing, and just getting all the settings right and stopping and breathing and thinking about all the inputs that you've got going into the shot, and then stopping and breathing and going, right, how am I going to get the best out of this shot? How do I get the best from my couple? How do I get the best from my camera? And how do I make this shot clean and crisp and clear and beautiful and soft and all of that sort of stuff? And
I like that.
I work very hard at managing all of those inputs to make those photos as beautiful as they can possibly look.
Yeah, I like that. Ben, I forget to stop and breathe so often at weddings because I'm just trying to like get as many different shots. I'm trying to keep up with Amber and Chris and Ben and Arnold and create all these amazing shots. And I forget to just stop and just like, okay, just like take a second and just, make sure you know what you're doing here as far as like, what is the creative vision that you're trying to do? Are you just trying to create something, or are you trying to create something amazing for these clients? And so I think that advice of stopping and breathing and really just kind of walking through it is great. So I love also how you talked about, posing for the right light and things like that, which I think you mentioned you might not be as colorful as the rest of these guys, but I think those are the skills that people are going to really benefit when they get a chance to learn from you. So good stuff.
Yeah. Posing, using lighting in posing is just one of those things that is, I think it's forgotten a little bit now because there's so much instant gratification. And there's so many other inputs with regard to lights and colors and all that sort of stuff that the real pure side of it can be lost a little bit. And then it comes to trying to fix things in Photoshop. So I call it a Photoshop glitter roll, where you take a turd and you can't polish a turd, right? So you've just got to roll it in glitter in Photoshop afterwards. So I'm all about taking a diamond, taking a gem, and then polishing it afterwards. So that's one of the gifts, or one of the things that I'm going to be sharing, that I'm going to be putting a lot into in this event that we do.
I like it. I was afraid we were going to go right back to the bathroom humor, but
no,
you put some glitter on it and you're good.
No.
I think one of the things that you'll find with all of us is we really do stress the importance of getting it right in camera. All of us work on our posing, all of us slow down a little bit. You'll notice that the little little tweaks are there. Like with Arno's silhouettes, he's got like the fingers in the right place. And Chris's images look like they're just coming at you and the people are moving in the photos. And Ben's images are just so beautifully orchestrated. It's because we really did spend time, learning the craft of getting it right in camera, not only to show the clients on the day of, which is so important to show them the back of the camera so that they know that, hey, this is magic from the photographer I hired. This isn't computer magic. This is this person doing it. But also, to get your life back, to save yourself from stressing in Photoshop and trying to recreate something like Ben said that you could have done on the day of had you just, taken a step back and breathe a little bit. So yeah, I think you'll find all of us are very instructing our students to get it as right as close as you can in camera for many, many different reasons.
I like that. Speaking of get it right in camera, Amber, why don't you tell us about these incredible wrestling photos? We actually have two here, very different, same pose basically, but we got this one and then this one, both incredible shots. And then we got a little behind the scenes. So tell us about this.
So this is not Jason Momoa, sadly.
Looks like
one day. This kid is 16 years old, almost 17 years old. These are his high school senior portraits. We did two sessions. We did one outside at his favorite location. The second session we did inside the wrestling room because he's a wrestler. I had no idea what I was getting into. They just said, "Oh yeah, we have the wrestling room for an hour. Come on in." I get there and the entire room is red. When I say the entire room is red, I mean they have the red mats that's below him are on all the walls. It's a red box, which is wonderful for, getting the bounce light on your client's skin. Also, it smelled because it's a boys' locker room, so that wasn't the best smelling place. You walk in, you're like, "Ooh, this is where the boys are."
Yeah.
So his father is actually holding the light for me. His father is amazing. He was very involved in the whole process of getting these pictures taken, and him and his father. This is another part that we don't talk about too much in our industry, but the interpersonal relationships that our clients have with one another is important to take note of. So when we did the outside session before this one, the father came with us and we hiked up this big hill to like one of their favorite spots. We talked to dad and you could tell him and dad and him are just bonded. They're bonded together. So the following day when we did the session inside, I made sure to bring dad in and include him and he loved it. He wanted to hold the light. He sprayed some fog for me. I took pictures of dad helping him and I included those in the slideshow I showed them when they got their pictures. And so the pictures mean more to my client now because dad is telling everybody, "Hey, I helped with that image. Hey, I was holding that light for that image. I'm part of this now." And I know that doesn't have to do with lighting, but I think it's important as photographers to keep the humanness about what we do involved. So
I love that.
with all that being said, back to the lighting. I did a 3-light setup, so I have the 2 lights on either side, left and right, with the MagMod blue gels. I wanted to do the blue with the red because I just love that color combo. It just pops. And then had dad holding the boom light over him, which is a really cute technique to learn because with his head down, you get those dark shadows on his face. Mm-hmm. And you get just the muscles that are lit, which is a great, very intense wrestling pose. And then all he had to do was look up, and you've got 2 different looks without moving, both sellable to the client. And then you knock out all the red room. So with lighting and with lighting knowledge, you really can make any space look the way that you want it to look because you can't tell where we are. We could be anywhere in this room.
That's awesome. Amber, I think in the pre-show, I was telling you, I just did a set of wrestling photos for a team, and I wish I had seen these images before I did my wrestling photos. They're really incredible. My son is actually a national wrestler. I say national. He wrestles for Team Arizona, and we travel to national tournaments all over the United States during the summertime, and so this one speaks to me just because not only is it a cool image, but you have the wrestler in what's called referee position on the down position. And it's it's one of the spots where a lot of wrestlers like to be so they can score quick points. But
I totally knew that. I knew that.
Well, it's an amazing shot. It's really cool. Yeah. So anyone want to know anything about wrestling, holler at me. I love the sport. So Arnold, can we go back to you? We got an image here that I want to show everyone, and we have a little behind the scenes here first. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, that was on an in-person workshop at Ibiza. And the most beautiful thing with in-person training is that they can make the same images for themselves. So yeah, we can train the attendees to be creative anywhere. Now, there was on the beach very, very early, sunset time. And we did a flying dress, but there was no wind. So I need a workshopper who put that dress in the air. And we lit our model, Kira, from behind with a half CTO gel, so sort of fake sunlight. Because the sun is also a little bit orange, and with that you create a beautiful sunlight rim light, because it was a little bit hazy in the back, so the sun was bright but not bright enough for a perfect rim light, and you can see that in this image. There is no rim light. And we lit the Kira with the key light with the MagSphere, so we straight in the face, so we don't have a lot of shadows, and that's it. 2 light setup with an extra light from behind, and that's the sunlight, the sunset, and again blue and orange, perfect combination for beautiful creative result.
I love it. Arnold, did you say this was sunset or sunrise?
Sunrise, sorry, yeah.
Oh, it was in the morning?
Yeah, in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
Sunrise.
And tell us one more time. So the flash on the left, which is that one with the MagSphere, you had that one at about, I don't know, 9 o'clock or so. The one behind, what was the purpose of the one behind? Was that just to carve her out? It looks like a little bit of light on the hair and the hands.
Yeah, that's the sun. It was hazy on the back, so the sun was not bright enough for a perfect rim light. So we lit our model from behind with an extra light with that half CTO for a little bit extra, fake sunlight, a little bit rim light. You can see when you look at our hand and our shoulders, you see that little bit warm rim light. So you create a little bit more dynamic than only with one light.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Arno. I really enjoy seeing that. Chris, tell us about this one, boss.
All right, so on this one, we actually, this is actually a very interesting photo. I do a lot of Indian weddings. And one of the things is sometimes I'm very blessed to be in a room where there's a lot of potential, and then there's some rooms that don't have that much potential. So this was one of those rooms that didn't have so much potential. So obviously I saw this mirror shot here. I saw a mirror and I said, you know what? I saw his red coloring and everything. And I told my assistant, I said, you know what? Let's use 3 flashes here. What we'll do is we put a GT, we put a 2.
Oh, sorry, hold on.
That's fine, it's fine, Lawrence.
Let me see if I can. Yeah. I'm going to pull this up so we can look at it. Go ahead.
We were using a GT200 Geekoto light in the back, and then we have the MagMod grids. On the front, I did put just the MagMod red filter, and then another MagMod red filter, because what I noticed on the first image that I took, it was looking very red, but it was just black on the back, and I didn't like that. So we put another light on the back with a red grid, and now we had all the red going on everywhere, which was pretty good. And then we just filled in with the softbox up in the front, and we came out with this photo. Now, one of the things that I always get asked is, when do I use grids and when don't I use grids? Honestly, until I take the photo is really, really when I start seeing if I'm going to need it or not. If I see a lot of spill on the face or on the person, then that's why I'll add the grid. The only thing I don't like about adding the grid is, I won't add the grid, sorry, is if I need it to spread everywhere, I'm not going to use the grid. If I need it to just very directional, then I will. There's going to be a photo you're going to share where I do use them because it's very necessary. But if I want that spill to just flash everywhere, no grid. So on something like that, definitely. The one on the back, did not have a grid. So just the one in the front. And it's just to hit that mirror and make it look pretty good. So that's how we got that shot. One of the things I'll tell you is that shot, I had to, if you look at the video, a guy had to step on a bench because of the height. And I'll be real honest, if I critique my own work, I'll give that shot a 7 out of 10, a 6 out of 10. Because if you look at the height from the mirror, I feel he could have still been picked up a little bit higher, but there wasn't anything higher to pick him up. That was the highest thing I could find. But if it was my liking, the way my head works, at least 2 more feet up, it would have been perfect nailed. But it wasn't perfect nailed. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Let's go back to this shot real quick. So, and I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but it's the light on the ceiling above him, that red light, which is, I came from the flash that was behind him, right?
Yes.
That to me makes this image really pop. Like sometimes it's that one little extra thing that you do that it just, to like, again, I think most people would be like, oh, I'm going to put a flash down by the mirror. I'm going to color the red wall. I'm going to put a flash on him. And then he would have been lit, but it would have been him in kind of a dark room, right?
Absolutely.
But the fact that you put that little red light back there, and it's a little bit brighter than the red on top, so you have this kind of cool gradient that go like that. To me, it makes this image everything. And I get what you're saying about the height, but dude, 10 out of 10, man. This is a cool image. Excellent. I really, really like it.
And I'll give another tip to all the MagMod people watching this is another question I always get asked too is, do I kill ambient light all the time, or what is it that I do? I always tell people, a lot of people think that you have to hire your power and your flash is so high. You don't. As a matter of fact, I think that I never go over 1/64th. What you do need to do is shoot. I always shoot, my number one rule is 1 stop under, right? But when I know that I want color to take over the whole room, I close that shutter up. Either I stay at 280 and I go all the way down until I have a black screen and then I fill in it with lights, or I'll go up on my f-stop. Personally, me, I'm not a person that likes to mess with my f-stop at f8. You'll never catch a photo of mine at f8. The lowest my camera can go, I rather just go on the shutter. It creates a dreamy look. Some people can tell, some people know, but I'm giving you a tip right now. If you want your photos to look dreamy, never go to f8. It's too much in focus. You just want that fall off to be very creamy on your photos. And if you want that creaminess, you got to be at a low f-stop. So my photos will never go above a 2.8. That's like my minimum. That's my maximum aperture that I'll shoot any photo.
So I do like, as far as taking that stop, making it a little bit darker, right, to get those colors, because obviously you don't want all that light to spill, and that's gonna desaturate your colors essentially. You mentioned the f8 stuff. I tend to shoot wide open as well. I will say there are times, and all the journalists out there watching will know, if you're a photojournalist, well, if you're a photojournalist, it's the saying is f8 and be there. F8 and be there. It's like, just put your camera at f8, everything will be in focus, and be there, and you'll capture the moment. So that's the old journalist rule. I don't know.
And I always say, as long as you're happy with your work, hey, do what you got to do, brother. But if you're asking me, that's what I do, and I just want to give my tip out there for you guys to know. Then the cool thing about all this, about you doing this, is that, think about this. You guys are looking at the photos right now. We're looking at them, we're revising them. But at our workshop, we're actually going to be able to walk you through this, right? And that's our thing here in this call, is making sure that we show our photos, we're talking about them, but if you go to our workshop, you can guarantee you're going to walk out knowing how to shoot that shot, because we're going to walk you through it. So it's a very good opportunity.
It's cool. I like it. Good stuff. Ben, let's turn it over to you, and you can tell us about this shot right here. Let me pull it up. This is amazing. Tell us about this.
So this one was created at a 5-day workshop that I hosted in the UK at the end of 22. So this is in a really old, not a castle, but a really old building in the UK. And basically at the workshop, we had about, I think, 14, 15 students, and they kind of challenged me to pull out something creative and unique and that sort of stuff. So this has been shot with 2 flashes. So there's one flash behind the couple who is backlighting them. That flash is about 1.5 meters behind them at about the guy's shoulder height, and it's pointing back at them with a grid on it. And then in the behind the scenes, you'll see that there's somebody else on the right-hand side of the couple hanging over the balcony with a monopod, with a ProPhoto A2 and a softbox on it. So basically, I'm just using 2 lights, but then when it pans round to me, I've got a piece of black acrylic that I'm actually sitting on the banister or on the handrail, and I'm using that black acrylic to create the mirror effect of the couple and the lights underneath. So basically, I've posed them. I've got everything set up. I've got my aperture and I've got all my settings set up. I'm just taking my time and I'm talking all of the students through this as I'm doing it. And it's basically just a single shot. So I've taken maybe 1 or 2 test shots, but I'm not one of these photographers who'll take, 10 or 15 shots of the same thing and then go through and pick it out afterwards. I'll direct it, set up my lights, set up everything, and make sure that I've got it completely right. Then I'll take 1 shot, maybe 2 if there's a discrepancy with a couple or a blink or something like that. But yeah, so 2 lights, 1 behind them, backlighting them, 1 around the front on the couple with a softbox on it, and the reflection is from a piece of black acrylic that is probably half the size of your laptop screen.
That's awesome. Do you keep that black acrylic in your camera bag? Like, do you have it always?
So I've got it in my little backpack. So I've got a roller bag and a backpack. Yeah. And I keep that in the backpack. So
that's super smart. I've used like little mirror pieces, and I've used my phone, like an iPhone. But it's funny. I just tried to use my iPhone on a shoot recently, and you know how the new iPhone setting, I think it's an iOS 18 or something, how your screen is always on. It's always like a clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like in the middle of a shoot. I'm like, how do I turn this off? I just want it to go dark. I couldn't even, because it's just like an always on setting now, that iPhone. So I'll have to check that out. I love that tip on the black acrylic. That makes a lot of sense. You get some really cool reflections that way, I imagine.
So you can use a clear acrylic as well, but obviously you can sort of see through it. I prefer the black because you can't actually see through it, and it's a better mirror, a better but darker mirror effect.
Yeah. I love that. Do you use that for like when you're shooting like wedding rings and things like that too?
I'll use that. I'll use my phone as well. Like I've got on Instagram, there's like a page on there. They do all these crazy patterns and bright, colorful patterns, and I'll put that on and I'll sit the rings on top of my phone and I'll shoot down on top of that to use the color from the phone and a couple of flashes off to the side to do stuff like that as well. So it's kind of all about being creative, I guess, and looking at the scene and looking at it and going, okay, this is what is possible here, but what else can I create? Like, and thinking outside directly what's in front of you and thinking outside that and going, okay, what can we possibly create here using some flashes, using some color, using a reflection, using a piece of acrylic or a crystal to shoot through or something like that. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So smart, man. So smart. The reason, I haven't done one of these how I shot it's in quite some time. And so I'm stoked that we're doing this, but I realize when I get a chance to talk to people like your guys, the 4 of you that are insanely talented photographers, there's so many little tips like that I go, oh, dang, that's the tip I needed to create the type of shots that I want to create. And I love that. So thank you for sharing that. Good stuff. Guys, I know we've already gone on for quite some time. Can I bother you to run through just a few more images, but we can do it kind of machine gun style where we just kind of go fast, and I won't even jump away from the share screen. We'll keep it on there. And if it's your image, you can tell us about it and how you shot it. Is that cool? You guys good with that? Can we do another maybe 10 minutes or so?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. We'll
I know Arnold is probably like midnight out there, and Ben has
almost. Almost.
If I go black all of a sudden, there's a massive storm raging here. So if I go black, it's because we've lost power. So
Sure it is.
Trevor, do you mind?
That's what done.
Trevor, do you mind if I open the door for my wife? She's locked out really quick.
Yeah, of course. That would be important, Chris. Yeah, definitely.
Dude, it's been an hour and 30 minutes. She's been waiting. Poor girl, hold on.
Oh my goodness, Chris, what are you doing?
Chris, you're a horrible husband.
Oh,
Love it.
that's so funny. He's like,
Should we raise
sorry,
our dogs
babe.
at the
I was in a
same
live
time?
stream.
Ben, you got Monster. We could raise our dogs back up like we did the one.
No, because as soon as I leave this live stream, I'm packing up my go-kart to go-kart racing for the weekend because I don't have a wedding. So Monster is at his nanny's house sipping daiquiris by the pool.
Aw, little puppy Dax.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, that'll be fun.
Let's
All right.
go.
Well, let's jump over.
All right. As long as
Let's jump over to
wifey's-
this one. Amber, tell us about this shot.
Okay, great couple, beautiful couple, wonderful venue, expensive venue. The sun is never where I want it to be at this venue. So, some of these locations are iconic, so people want the building behind them, they want the fountain, they want the chess set, but to make it happen the way that I want it to happen, I have to bring in lighting. So yeah, so this is going back to knowing when to add lighting to help your images and to create what you see in your head. So I used the one light stand and I photographed them both individually and then I married it together in Photoshop. So this is an image you can't get with one light in camera, but I did show the client like the one where she was lit in camera, and so she knew what she was getting and she was thrilled. Because when you have a client like this that hires you for a location like this, you need to bring something special to it.
Amber, I just keep going back and forth between the, before and after there. And it's just insane because this is the kind of, this is what happens. People go, hey, can we get a shot right here with the fountain and the reception venue in the background? And you're like, yeah, we can do that. And if you actually want this to look decent without lighting them up, you basically are going to blow out the background. It's going to be really bright behind them because you got to bring that light up in the shadows.
And we did some of that. We did some natural lighting with them in the sun, but the sun is coming at such a harsh angle that neither of them are getting perfectly good complementary lighting on their faces without being posed. It just wasn't going to happen then.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Arno, tell us about this one.
Yeah, that's why I'm also in Vegas to teach all the people, all the attendees, to create in any location super nice images. It was raining on that day, so we have to hide for the rain. And there was a concrete stair. I used one flash behind the couple. As you can see, there was no sunshine. But with one light or with two lights, you can create always beautiful creative images like silhouettes, but you also can create fake sunlight like this. The only thing what you have to do is go hybrid. So use the daylight as a key light and use a rim light like that, a higher rim light with a whole CTO on it as a fake sunlight. And you can create on a super boring location, you can create a super nice, creative sunlight photo when it's raining. And that's what I like with MagMod. With MagMod, you can change all your colors, you can change your flashes into what you want, and you can create creativity on any location. And that's what I'm going to teach to the students in Las Vegas. Be creative on any location.
I love it. Arno, we like to call those fun sets, like almost like a sunset, but with fun using gels.
A Meg sunset. I'm sure there's a way that you can twist that.
I love it. It looked really, really cool. Did he make it back? Did his wife let him survive?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Chris, tell us about this one.
All right, cool. So this was actually really cool. Brings me a lot of memories. I remember when I got there to the guys, one of the things he was put a lot of pressure on me. He's like, hey man, I know you're gonna create magic. I'm like, oh man, Jesus. So I already had a little heat on my back because I had a lot of pressure going on that day. So this is what I came up with. I saw a little door entry. There's a little space about 5 feet behind him. Then there's an elevator back there. So I did a red gel inside, two blues on the side. Each two blue gels on the side had grids to control light spill. And then the one in the back had no grid. And as you can see here in the video, one of the things that I instructed him, I always tell my clients when we're doing a photo that's looking straight to the camera, I always have one thing that I tell the clients, look wherever you want, and in the count of three, give me that look. Because if you have them looking from the very beginning, it's just going to be an iPhone shot. So just make sure to do that at the last second, and they'll give it to you naturally, right? And one of the things that I like to do is, especially with guys, you guys should try this. It works really good. When they look at you, go, say something that really boosts them up. Like me, I use the word papi chulo. It's one of the things you call good-looking guys. So it always works, man. They feel it. They love that word. Yeah. So it just creates a spark in them and a very good, they believe in themselves, and we create images. So we do.
That's awesome. I love how the gels, right there, you can actually see the blue gels that you put on the ground there to kind of create those uplight effect, like, it's cool.
I would pay money to have Arno call somebody Papi Chulo. I would love to do that.
Arno, I think that's your cue, bud. Let's hear it.
Can you say
that's my saying, man. I get called that when I go to the weddings now. They already know.
I kind of want to hear it in an Australian accent.
Oh, come on.
What's the word?
Come on.
What's the word, Chris?
Say Papi Chulo.
Papi Chulo.
Yeah.
Papi Chulo.
I just have them look at me and say, "Who's your daddy?"
That's I've been going to say that a few times. Anyway.
That's funny. I love it. I love it, you guys. Guys, this has been fun. Ben, I don't think I have a third image for you. We'll have to just direct people to go check out your Instagram.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works now, and because I haven't got a third image, and all these guys did, I'm like, stuff it. I'm gonna challenge all three of you guys to post 4 or 5 photos before and not behind the scenes, but just before and afters on the MagMod page when this goes live. So I'm going to post, I'll share sort of half a dozen before and afters, and I'm going to challenge you guys to share some before and afters as well. Because I only had 2 for today, so I feel a bit.
That. I love that. Yeah. I like the challenge, Ben. I think it's great, and I
throw it out.
Yeah, no, and I think it's great when people can see before and afters. It literally helps them to kind of go, okay, let's go back to Amber's first image at golf course. Like here in Arizona, I literally shoot so many golf course weddings, and it's like, oh, next time I go on a golf course, I can do something like this. I can be inspired by that image. By the way, do you guys know my favorite word is inspire? And do you know what that actually means? Like the what do they call it? The etymology or the study of words? Have you ever heard this? Mm-hmm. No? Inspire is like to breathe life into something. Like you're being inspired, you're breathing life into it. That's literally what the word comes from. And so I always say, you're not copying somebody. Like if I go to a golf course and I want to create an image kind of like Amber's, I'm not copying Amber. She's breathing life into my business. She's helping me to be able to essentially create something for my clients that they're going to love. And obviously I'm not going to go out there and be like, okay, we got to create this exact same shot, but you're literally breathing life. So you guys have all been doing that. This entire, video chat that we've had is literally just inspiring people that are out there. And I imagine that those students that show up at your workshop, you're going to be breathing life into them and their business as well. So I think it's great.
There's no way you're going to come to this workshop and ever not just shoot differently, but see the world the same way. You're going to see lighting. You're going to see opportunity everywhere you go. And I think that's, because I still learn. We attend each other's workshops. We learn online. We're still constantly students of education. But I know for a fact that you're going to spend 2 days with us. You're never going to see the world the same again.
That's cool.
Well, the big thing with lighting and the big thing with flash and that sort of stuff is being an opportunist. Because you have to walk into a room and go, okay, this is what I can possibly create here, and be that opportunist to seek it out and do it. And there's a saying that I love that it's, while the optimist and the pessimist were arguing over whether the glass was half empty or half full, the opportunist took off with it and drank it.
You guys, thank you for spending this time with me and going over these shots and you know, and like I said earlier, I'm excited. There's going to be people out there that are going to show up at your workshop, and that's going to be that defining moment for them in their career, just like David Honnold's workshop was for me back 15 years ago or whatever it was. And I'm excited for them to have that experience. And thank you for spending this time with me. Also, I want to make sure everyone, if you've stuck around this long, the code was MAG500, MAG 500. And I think we said that was good until, was it December 1st? Is that what you said?
December 1st. Yeah. So
December
right after
1st. Yeah. So jump on that, guys. And I'll make sure we put the website up, but why don't we say it as well? What's the website that people can go register?
So you can come right to my website, which is just amberhenryphotography.com. And right on the main page, you'll see a link to the Fabulous Four.
Cool.
So it's really easy to find. And then I know we've all been posting on, you can go to any of our social medias and see a link to sign up. Yeah, it'll take you right there.
Cool. Very cool.
It's also really important to share that although we are throwing out a $500 discount, which is massive, that doesn't necessarily mean that the price for this workshop is astronomical. So that $500 discount is kind of like 30% off or 25% off like the price. So it's a big discount, and it's a lot, and it's not like it's a $3,000 event or anything like that. It's way cheaper than that, and we're doing this because we want to reach as many people as we can, and we want to change the lives and change the way that people look and shoot, and just do that for as many people as we can, so that there's more of us flashers out there. So
yeah. You know, back when I used to teach workshops a lot and I would travel all over doing it, one of the hardest things as a teacher was I wanted to dedicate as much time as I could to helping each student. But as you're teaching and you have all these questions coming in, you couldn't dedicate all your time individually for people. And I think the fact that you four are going to be together, you're going to have those moments where somebody's going to have a question and you can actually step over and dedicate a one-on-one time with them, because you got four other people that are there to help out in the shoot, which is so much better than just having one. And I think, as Ben, I looked at your pricing on the website. I'm pretty sure your workshop, especially with this $500 discount, is right in line with people who there's one teacher showing up. So to have four people showing up for the price of one, I think you're right. I think you're quite a deal. I think it was, well, I don't want to quote, but I think it was like around 1,700. But then if you take the 500 off, you're looking at like 1,200. Is that?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
1,700, and we're taking 500 off until the 1st of December. So
that's awesome.
It's a big discount. So, and then we got 26 seats, I think, because we wanted to have a certain amount of people per instructor. So we didn't want it to be, something where someone gets left behind and that sort of thing. So, and we're all gonna do our thing and take people out individually and as pairs and that sort of stuff. So it's going to be a really, really fun, different, I think, a kind of a world first event, really, to have the four of us and then having us team up and to be able to experience four different people as a group is something really new and really cool. And I think the venues that we have, especially Fremont Street and the actual meeting venue that we've got, it's really, really cool. I'm really looking forward.
Do you guys, and this might be a question for Chris, did you guys have to have permits or something to shoot on Fremont Street? Is that?
No, not for Fremont Street.
Okay.
Fremont's
They're a little bit nicer.
pretty much open to everything. As a matter of fact, if you go to my page, Fremont Street starting a sponsor, like put me all over their page now.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Like, they want you to tag them. They want you to showcase them. There's also another thing called Vegas Wedding Capital that's also posting a lot of my work. So like they want to showcase Fremont, and because all of that is getting, a lot of the places in Fremont are getting reconstructed, getting better bars, better restaurants, better everything. So the more they can showcase it, the better.
That's cool. That's very cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking all this time. I'm looking here. I think we've been on a little over an hour. You guys are awesome for carving this time out of your days and nights and mornings to meet up at wherever you're at in the world. Really do appreciate you guys. And like I said, this has been a super fun time and learning time for me to even just pick up new tips that I can even apply to my own photography and use. So appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. And thank you for building the MagMod community to be what it is, because it was one of the most inspirational communities online, where if you are ever stuck, just go on the MagMod community, just scroll,
Right.
and you see such amazing images. People are asking questions, people are answering questions. It's like it's what we all believe in, is that an educated photographer makes all of us better. For sure.
Absolutely.
If there's anyone in the MagMod community from Australia, reach out, because here in Australia we're so far detached from the US, from Europe, and that sort of stuff that, if any Australians out there in the community, please reach out, because I'd love to build that community here in Australia as well.
That's awesome. Love it. You guys, thank you. Appreciate all your time. And for those watching, appreciate you guys tuning in and checking these out. And definitely leave comments, questions. I bet any of these four would be happy to see any comments or questions that you have that they can answer for you. And then, of course, go give them all follows on Instagram. And then go check out this workshop and go see if it's a good fit for you. I bet it will be. I bet it will be as I've mentioned a few times already, everyone has those life-changing workshops. And I think this would be one for a lot of people. So appreciate everybody. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you.
Ew.